Hi, I'm Holly from Flow Movement Therapy, where I help you take ownership of your body through better movement. Today we're talking about why your big toe is such a big deal. Now, your big toe gets its name not just because it's big, but because of the big role that it plays in firing a whole bunch of things that you're probably frustrated that you can't get to work, like your hamstrings, your glutes, your abs, a whole bunch of things, and your calves, and the tightness, and all the things that we want to try to get better at. And who knew that it's actually your big toe that might be the thing that can explain it. So your big toe is really important in keeping you nice and stable on the ground, on your feet, being resilient in case you step in a hole or on something uneven, and being able to give information to all of those muscles that need to fire, that we're trying to fire. So we need to be able to make sure that your big toe can move. We need to be able to make sure you can get off of the weight of your big toe, so you can get into and out of your big toe. And we also want to make sure that the timing of the movement of the big toe is appropriate, so that all of those structures get the cues that they need to get long in order to fire. It's all about getting those muscles long by moving the things they're attached to. So we're going to go through a little examination of a few things just to see whether your big toe is doing what we would like, and then some exercises to try to bring those movements back to your body. So stand up, we're going to try it out together. There's three things that we want to look at when we are trying to get some more movement back in our feet, to try to get some better action with our big toes. So we're going to look at three things that your feet might be doing. First off, we're going to lift all of your toes up off the ground. And I want you to notice a few things as you're doing that. So check out your feet and see what's happening. When you lift your toes up off the ground, are they all lifting up? Are you able to get them to come up off the ground? You also want to notice with your big toes, are you able to lift them up? And when you lift them up, do they both lift up the same amount? So you'll notice that from my lefts and rights, I have different amounts of ability to lift. It's a different shape that's being created. And I know that I need to work on some of this motion on my right side in particular. So we're going to look at that first. The next thing is, where is the weight distribution in your feet? Is it more towards the front of your feet, more towards the inside of your feet, or is it evenly distributed throughout your feet? So if your weight is more to the inside and forwards, you're going to have more of the pressure underneath your big toes. And if you have more of the pressure under your big toes, it's really hard to lift your toes up off the ground. I'm trying really hard, but I just can't because of the pressure that's being pushed into the big toe area, but also that the joints are moving in the opposite direction we want them to go when the pressure is there. So noticing where the pressures are underneath your feet, we're going to work on that as well. The last thing is, when your foot is the back foot, when you're walking, we want to take note of whether the pressure is evenly distributed across the ball of your foot like this, or whether the pressure goes more towards the big toe when you're having your knee bend as you go along, or if you're avoiding something and you're putting the weight onto the outside of your foot. So we're going to work on that as well, being able to have pressure distributed evenly across the ball of your foot as you push your weight forward during your walk. We're going to work on each of those next. Starting with lifting your toes up off the ground. So if you're having trouble lifting your toes up off the ground, one thing that we can do is give you a bit of an assistance. So if you have an elastic band like this, maybe from your broccoli or from your mail, you can put this around the tips of your big toes, and they're going to help each other out to lift up off the ground. So what we're going to do here is lifting all of your toes up off the ground. Your big toes are going to assist each other to get some more of that awareness of the movement and how to have good movement quality here in this extension of your big toe. So we want to be able to have this motion and be able to get your big toes up off the ground and make this nice shape. We use this shape in many ways throughout our movement, so we want to start to get this back. Now, if you were having trouble just simply getting your toes to lift up off the ground, You can use a little assistance with either a wedge if you have one, or a towel or something underneath, just to give it a head start to lifting. So if I start lifting this one up, I have a head start because it's already part way there. So that can help us just get that movement started if we're not able to lift them up. Now, our second thing we wanted to be able to do was to get the weight out of the front and insides of our feet. So just bringing some awareness to where the pressures are underneath your feet, and seeing if your pressure is more towards the inside and to the ball of your foot. See if you can adjust the way you're standing up on top of your feet. See if you can take your weight backwards a little bit, and see what you need to do to shift around in order to get the weight out of your big toes. So having your weight all in the big toes like that is going to limit a lot of the things that we want to do with our bodies, and being able to use a lot of those muscles on the back of your body to help you move around. So let's see if shifting your body weight around can help you lifting your toes. So if you get your pressures nice and evenly distributed under your feet, just see if it's easier to get your toes up off the ground. Now, our third thing that we want to work on is that pushing off at the back, being able to get your nice wide base of the whole ball of the foot pushing you off at the back as you're moving forward. So if you are unable to do that, that could be something to do with your big toe not being able to get some nice opposition there, being able to push down into the ground. So we're going to wake up some of those tissues that are underneath. I'm just going to set this up here. You can use a wall, anything where you can set up your foot to be able to have a corner like this. So I'm going to put the big toe up against this wedge for you. It could be the corner of the room against the wall, and all my other toes are hidden behind there. They're all going to go down to the ground, and what that's going to do is create an intense stretch all the way through from the tip of your big toe all the way up into your calf muscle. And here, I'm just going to bend my knee in towards, if this was your wall, bending in towards the wall, and just getting some stretch and a feedback for that tissue underneath your foot. You can also rotate your knee. Rotating your knee in towards your big toe will give some more of that stimulus that it needs. And then, of course, we can reverse this. The other way around would be to put your big toe down on the ground and all the other toes up on the wall. So finding the other corner of the room, and then bending your knee into that shape, giving an intense stretch across the second through fifth toes and all the tissues underneath, and teaching that big toe an important role, which is to start reaching for the ground. Often that big toe doesn't know how to do that motion, and so here we are teaching it how to do that. So give these exercises a try. See if that helps you a little bit more with your big toe mobility, getting lots of good stuff all the way up the chain. Hey, I'm thrilled you made it all the way to the end of the video. If you liked this content, let me know so I make more of it. Like, subscribe, leave a comment so that I know. And if you want to take more ownership of your body, check out some of these videos I'm recommending for you.